Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Lecture number 16, unit number 8. This is the course of first year pre-engineering class, first year pre-engineering group. In this video lecture, we will discuss the question number 2 of exercise 8.2. In question number 2, we are required to sketch the graph of the following quadratic functions. These are the quadratic functions. All these three functions are quadratic functions. So they are quadratic function, and we know from the theory that the graph of quadratic functions are parabolas. So they are quadratic functions and their graphs will always be parabola. Each of them must have a parabolic curve for their graphical representation. So parabola is the graph. Now parabola U shape. So how you can say about the parabola of different functions that the branches will be open upward or downward, and what will be the axis of parabola, which is also known as axis of symmetry, and what will be the vertex of the parabola. So for that we convert the given to sketch. This is a general information which I briefly revise, that is already discussed in previous video lectures, but briefly recall that if we have a quadratic function in general form, f of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c, where a is not equal to 0. So this is the general form of a quadratic equation. This is the general form of a quadratic equation. So first, if you want to sketch the graph of this, so remember that the graph of the general quadratic functions will be always a parabola. That parabola may be in U shape, and their branches will be open upward, or the graph of this quadratic function, which is given in the general form, will be its graph a parabola whose branches will be open downward, and this lowest point and this highest point is called vertex, and the line which passes from a vertical line which passes from this vertex is called the axis of the parabola, and this point is called vertex. So this is must be known to all of you, that whenever you need to sketch the graph of a quadratic function, so remember that graph must be a parabola, and the branches of that parabola may be either branches may be upward or downward, and that will be the vertex, and this will be the axis of symmetry or the axis of parabola. So for sketching you must know about the direction of the branches, that may be upward or downward, then about the vertex, which is the point of the plane, so must have ordered pair for their representation, and the axis, so this is a vertical line, so it must be equation of the form x is equal to some number. Okay, so for that we convert this general form into the standard form of parabola. How you can convert that into the standard form? We make the first two terms a complete square. We discussed that in detail in previous video lecture. So the standard form of f of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c, where a is not equal to 0, is f of x is equal to a times x minus h whole square plus k. A is known that this is the coefficient of x square. X is the variable of the given quadratic function given in the journal form. What is h and what is k? This h and k is actually the coordinates of vertex. H is the x coordinate of the vertex and k is the y coordinate of the vertex, where h is equal to minus b divided by 2a and k is equal to c minus b square divided by 4a, and you know the value of a, b, c from the journal form. Okay, so this is the vertex. Now, so you get the information of vertex from here. Okay, now if a is greater than 0, then branches of the given parabola, mean the branches of the parabola which is the graph of the journal form of a quadratic equation, will be open upward. Then parabola will be open upward, and if a is less than 0, then parabola will be open downward, mean the branches will be open downward. Then parabola will be open downward. In this case, the branches of the parabola will be open upward, so that will be the shape. In this case, the shape of the parabola will be this. Okay, so this is the shape when a is greater than 0, this is the shape when a is less than 0. A is the coefficient of the x square, and this h, x is equal to h, is the line of symmetry, and x is equal to h is the equation of axis of parabola. So you must remember these points for sketching the graph of the quadratic functions. So this is the theoretical stuff that we already discussed in previous videos lecture. I revised it briefly. Now moving towards the for the solution of the given question, mean we are going to sketch the graph of the given quadratic functions that are f of x is equal to x square plus 1, f of x is equal to minus x square plus 1, f of x is equal to x square plus 2x plus 1. So for that, first of all, solution of 1. The given quadratic function is f of x is equal to x square plus 1. Target is sketch the graph of the given function. Now we know that the graph of every quadratic function is a parabola. So we know that the graph of f of x is equal to x square plus 1 must be a parabola. But what will be the vertex of that parabola? So we need to find out. For sketching the graph, we need 4 points. The first one, to sketch the graph, we require the following. Number 1, we need the vertex of f of x is equal to x square plus 1. Number 2, we need the axis of symmetry. Number 3, we need the general shape of the function, that the branches will be open upward or downward. So in this case the value of a is 1. So we need, this is just for your understanding, in third step we need the shape, what will shape of parabola, that either the branches will be open upward or downward. And the fourth one is we need the intercept that at which point the parabola will passes from the x-axis and at which point the parabola will pass from the y-axis. So we also need intercept. To draw the graph of this function, first of all I am finding the vertex. So for that you need to convert the given parabola, you need to compare the given parabola with the journal form. Now you see that as the journal form is f(x) is equal to ax square plus bx plus c, where a is not equal to 0. Let's say this is equation 1, and given f of x is equal to x square plus 1. So let's say this is equation 2. Comparing 1 and 2, comparing equation 1 and equation 2, we get a is equal to 1, b is equal to 0 because there is a missing term of which the b is the coefficient, so that term is missing, so b is 0, and c is 1. Okay, now a is f of x is equal to a times x minus h whole square plus k, where h is equal to minus b divided by 2a. So here b is 0, so minus 0 divided by 2 into 1, you will get 0, so h is equal to 0. And k is equal to c minus b square divided by 4a, so c is 1, b is 0, and that is 1. So you will get from here that k is equal to 1 and h is equal to 0. So vertex, which is hk, is equal to 0, 1. So this is the vertex. Now the next is, okay, this is the vertex. Axis of parabola is x is equal to h, but h is equal to 0. So this implies that x is equal to 0. X is equal to 0 mean y-axis, and y-axis everywhere the value of the x coordinate is 0. So x is equal to 0 mean a vertical line lies on the y-axis. So y-axis is actually the symmetry, or the axis of symmetry, or the axis of parabola. The third one is shape. So a is equal to 1. You see that this a here is equal to 1, which is the coefficient of the x square. Coefficient of the x square is 1, which is greater than 0, implies parabola will be open upward. Okay, the fourth one is intercept. So a is y is equal to f of x is equal to x square plus 1. So from here, that is, we can write y is equal to x square plus 1. So for x intercept, put y equal to 0. So when I put y equal to 0, so that become, this equation 3 becomes x square plus 1 equal to 0. So this implies that x square will be equal to minus 1, x square is equal to minus 1. Now if I take the square root on both sides, so I will get plus minus iota. So on the y-axis plus minus iota. So here you can see there is a ambiguity that how x will be complex. So that's why there is some mistake in this question. This x square plus 1 must be x square minus 1 equal to 0, because now if I shift this one on this side and taking square root on both sides, so that will become plus minus iota. So now we avoid complex numbers in the domain. So how you can say that how you can plot iota on the x-axis? So that's why there is a mistake in the question. This plus will be minus, this plus will be minus. So now if it is minus, so this will be in this shape. So when so x square is equal to 1, so this implies that x is equal to 1, taking square root on both sides. But now this is a quadratic, so it means that 2 times x is equal to 1 and 1. And next, for y-intercept, put x is equal to 0. So when x is equal to 0, so y is equal to 1. So here x is equal to 1, y is equal to 0, and here 0 1. So these are the 2 points, but remember that if I draw the graph of this parabola, so you see it here, this is the x-axis, now this is my y-axis. Let's say this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is minus 1, this is minus 2, this is minus 3, this is minus 4. Let's say this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and here let's say this is minus 1, this is minus 2, and so on. Now what is the vertex? First I am taking the vertex. Vertex is 0 1. So this is your vertex, 0 1. This point is 0 1. This is my vertex. Now what is the symmetry? Okay, this is a very important question. The question is correct. I say that this is minus, but this is not minus. Okay, now this is my vertex. After that, x is equal to 0 is the line of symmetry. So this is x is equal to 0. So this is the line of symmetry. And a is greater than 1, so the branches of the parabola will be open upward. So that will be the parabola. This is my parabola. Now this is your y-intercept also. So you see that this is my y-intercept. So you clearly see that parabola passes from this point, so that's why this is y-intercept. And there is no x-intercept. So that's why the value of x, this is plus. Okay, sorry for that, this is plus. The question is correct. The question is correct. So x square plus 1 equal to 0. For x-intercept you put y equal to 0. So x square is equal to minus iota. So x is equal to minus 1. So x is equal to plus minus iota, because square root of when you taking square root on both sides, so square root of minus 1 is equal to iota. So now iota 0 and minus iota 0 are the x-intercept, but iota is imaginary. So it means that a parabola will never intersect x-axis in this case. So you see that this is the graph. In this case, parabola didn't intersect the x-axis. So that is the way to draw the graph. Now I'm also solving the next one. Okay, the next question is f of x is equal to, part number 2, f of x is equal to minus x square plus 1. So here a is equal to minus 1 and b equal to 0, b equal to 0 and c is equal to 1. When you compare this with the general form ax square plus bx plus c, when you compare, let's say this is 1 and the general form is f of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c, where a is not equal to 0, so let's say this is 2. So when you compare these two, so you get this. Now vertex hk, so h is actually equal to minus b divided by 2a and k is c minus b square divided by 4a. So vertex will be minus b, which is 0 divided by 2 into minus 1, and c is 1 minus 0 square divided by 4 into 1. So 0 divided by anything you will get 0. So 0 and this is 1. So this is the vertex. This is the vertex. Okay. Next, axis h equal to 0. X is equal to h and h is 0 in this case. So this implies that x is equal to 0 mean y-axis is your line of symmetry, mean axis of parabola. And the third one, which is the shape, so a is equal to minus 1, which is less than 0, implies parabola will be open downward. So that will be the shape. Now you see that, let's say this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, this is 1, 2, 3, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. So 0, 1 is this point. This point is 0, 1. So this is my vertex. Now if this is your vertex and this y-axis is your line of symmetry, but in this case the branches will be open downward. So when the branches is open downward, so this is your y-intercept, but there will be also two x-intercepts, because when the branches are open downward, so what will be the two x-intercept? So for two x-intercepts, how you can find those two x-intercept? The y-intercept is obvious, but for x-intercept, put y equal to 0 in the given equation. The given equation is y is equal to minus x square plus 1. So you see that 0 is equal to minus x square plus 1. So this implies that minus x square is equal to minus 1, implies that x square is equal to 1. So taking square root on both sides, so that will be x square will be equal to plus minus 1. So x 1 y 0 and x minus 1 y 0 mean this point which is 1 0 and this point which is minus 1 0 are the x-intercept of this parabola. So this will be the graph. You see, this will be the graph. The procedure for x-intercept and y-intercept is the same. If you are interested to find out the x-intercept, put y equal to 0, and whenever you take the square root on both sides, so you must add plus minus, because square root mean actually the solution. This is actually a quadratic equation, so you will always get two solutions according to the fundamental theorem of algebra. So this is the graph of f of x is equal to minus x square plus 1. This is the branch is downward because the value of a is minus 1. So whenever a is minus 1 mean the coefficient of the x square is minus 1, so the branches will be open downward. So for the downward branches, when you sketch it, so it will always pass from the x-axis twice. So there are two x-intercept. You see that this is the first x-intercept and there is another x-intercept. This is also x-intercept and this is also x-intercept. These are two x-intercepts. So you must remember this. So now this is part number 2. Now moving towards the part number 3. For part number 3, this is my part number 3. F of x is equal to x square plus 2x plus 1, and this is the given. The journal form is ax square plus bx plus c, where a is not equal to 0. So when I compare these two, so the value of a is 1, the value of b is 2, the value of c is 1. Now first of all I am finding out the vertex. So vertex is hk. Because vertex is a point in a plane, so having ordered pair in for their representation to show its coordinates. So h is actually equal to minus b divided by 2a, and k is equal to c minus b square divided by 4a. So from here this is minus 2 divided by 2 into 1, and this is c is 1 minus b square mean 4 and 4 into 1. So these two will be cancelled. So now minus 2 divided by 2 you will get minus 1, and 1 minus 4 divided by 4. So 1 minus 1 you will get 0. So this is your vertex. This is your vertex. So I am drawing the vertex now. This is my x-axis. This is my y-axis. So let's say this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, this is 1, let's say this is 2, let's say 3, 4, this is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. So minus 1, 0. So this is this point. This point is minus 1, 0. Minus 1, 0. So this one is my vertex. This is the vertex. Okay. This is my vertex. Okay. The next step is I am finding the axis. So x is equal to h is the vertical line, which is the axis. So here x is equal to 1. So x is equal to minus 1 is my vertex. So x is equal to minus 1. Pass a straight line from this. X is equal to minus 1 mean a vertical line on which everywhere the value of the x coordinate must be minus 1. So this is my x-axis. This is my axis of parabola. This is the axis of symmetry or axis of parabola. Now next, the shape. Okay, for shape here a is equal to 1. A is equal to 1. So the branches will be open upward. You clearly see a is equal to 1, greater than 0. So branches of parabola will be open upward. Now when the branches is open upward, you see that in this patient, so there will be a y-intercept. The x-intercept is this point, and there must be a single y-intercept because parabola will pass from this y-axis as well. To find, so now find y-axis, y-intercept. So I am finding here y-intercept. So for y-intercept, put x is equal to 0. So the given function is y is equal to x square plus 2x plus 1. So when x is equal to 0, so that will become equal to 1. So the ordered pair is 0, 1. So this point is your y-intercept. This is 0, 1. This point is your y-intercept. Okay, so this is must be the parabola. The branches is openward. The y-intercept means the parabola passing from the y-axis is this point. And this is the there is no other y-intercept, and the x-intercept is actually the vertex. So this is the graph of f(x) is equal to x square plus 2x plus 1. So this is the procedure to draw the graph of a quadratic functions. Now in question part number 1, you see it here, there is no x-intercept, so that's why this the value of x is imaginary, mean complex. So that is the reason the question is correct. See, the question is correct, right? I told in the beginning that this plus will be minus, because I think that when x is negative, when x is imaginary, so how it is possible that you can give imaginary or a complex number in the domain? Because I told you that for the functions, domain will be also from the set of real numbers. There is no complex numbers involved in the domain. So that's why I think that this must be negative to avoid this iota. But when I sketch the graph, so from the graph we see that the branches is open upward. When I sketch the graph, so I saw that the branches is open upward, and that parabola is never intersect the x-axis. So that's why x is equal to plus minus iota, because x is imaginary for this parabola, because this doesn't intersect the x-axis. So that is the reason that you get x is equal to plus minus iota, because it means that on the x-axis, on this horizontal line, there is no value in the domain. You don't say like this, because when you give a value from here, so on that you will get this value. So these are the values from the domain, but the geometrical meaning of this, that the parabola will never intersect the x-axis. So this is the explanation for this point. Okay, so this is question number 2 of exercise 8.2. The coming questions will be discussed inshallah in next video lecture. Thank you.